Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, or indeed, if you are new to the channel and this series, welcome along. My name is Andy, your commentator. This is episode number 24 of this series, where I'm booking a year's worth of shows for PWG on the classic wrestling booking simulator, Extreme Warfare Revenge. Now, just a quick recap of where we left off at the end of the last video. So in the last video, we did 2 shows, as we do in most videos. So the first one was our big August event taking place on the 31st, City of Devils. And the main thing that happened, the Glory Days' hostile takeover was foiled by the Troop, so they are now no more. They've broken up. Bob Backlund is now gone. And the storyline is kind of continuing, but not really, I guess. Other things that happened, no title changes. Asuka and Paige was a good match. But yeah, other than that, the main thing, it was pretty much it was almost a one-match card, although that feels a bit harsh, because I felt like some of the other matches were built up pretty well. And Josh Barnett and Orange Cassidy happened as well. Anyway, so that was that show, and then the one after that was the Fallout edition of Warfare, where we started the Battle of Los Angeles tournament. Now, I explained how that tournament will work in the last video, but basically with a few first-round matches with 3 first-round matches in the last video. We also had Enzo Amore / Real One getting a bye to the next round because he's such a big star, and again, I explain all that in the last video. And Io Shirai returned from her Japanese excursion to help Asuka Kairi beat up Paige. So one other thing, the Glory Days that I mentioned, that storyline. So all the members of the Glory Days were put into matches. If they won their match, they got to keep their job. If they lost their match, they would lose their job. But the first of those matches took place on the last show, and Papa Shango and Kevin Sullivan teamed up to lose to Crime Time. So Papa Shango and Kevin Sullivan have now gone. So between recording that video and the last video, I released Papa Shango because he had 3 months left in his contract. So rather than pay him for 3 months to do nothing, I let him go. Katrina's got a drug problem. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm going to have to ignore that, as much as I don't really want to, because I need her on TV. So, yeah, needs must. Sorry, Katrina. Let me just check. Are you okay? Apparently she is. Well, apart from the drug problem. Apart from that, nobody should joke about things like that. Anyway, let's move quickly on. Just full disclosure as well, I am recording this on the 31st of August. So the day that our City of Devils event took place. So it's the day of Bash in Berlin in real life. Also, the finals of the Stardom 5-Star Grand Prix have taken. In fact, by the time as I've recorded this, that will have finished. So I will watch that at some point to watch Mayu Iwatani win. I have no idea if she does win or not, by the way, but that's just my prediction. But I have absolutely no idea. I'm not seeing any spoilers, so that's good. Obviously, by the time this gets on YouTube, I'll have known who wins. As well, anybody that watches this that follows Stardom. Also, is it Capital Collision it's called? There's going to be a New Japan show or something. I think that one's taking place on the 31st of August. But of course, all those real-life events pale in comparison to this fictional world that I'm creating. We're doing cinema here in PWG. I think that's usually the buzzword in modern wrestling for storytelling. Cinema. Got Paige trying to reverse the corruption of Asuka's mind. We've got 50 and 60-something-year-olds trying to take over the company. I mean, it is literal cinema. Anyway, let's not worry too much about that. Let's instead focus on this week's edition of Warfare. So as usual, I don't know if I've already said this, so if I apologise. So we're going to be booking 2 shows, 2 episodes of Warfare in this video. So let's get on with it. So we're going to kick things off with the Battle of Los Angeles tournament, finishing off the first round. So half of the first round took place last week. The rest of the first round is going to take place this week, so we'll know the final 8, the quarterfinalists, if you like. Why do Americans, by the way? I'm not American, so I don't want to insult my transatlantic colleagues, but why do Americans call the final the finals when it's plural, but it's only one game? I mean, to be fair, like the NBA finals is it's best of 7, so there's more than one game, but it's still only one. It's still only one final, if that makes any sense. So, I don't know if anyone can explain that one to me, but yeah, given this is sort of based in America, I will find myself saying Battle of Los Angeles Finals when it comes to the pay-per-view at the end of the month. Anyway, first round match, Eli Drake is going to beat Josh Barnett cleanly. So those two have fought before. They fought in a no-rope steel cage match. Of course, I couldn't book it. I just had to book a normal steel cage match. But if it was real, it would have been no ropes. And Eli Drake once again gets the better of Josh Barnett. And we're trying to sort of plant a seed here, because what would happen here is, after the match is finished, Eli Drake would walk up the ramp. Brian Cage's music would hit, and then they'd have a bit of a stare down. Bit of foreshadowing as to what might happen in this tournament. Because next up it's Brian Cage, and he will beat Kushida. So I didn't really want to put Kushida and Go Shiozaki in this tournament, because I've just kind of put them in a tag team. And I was trying to avoid. They're the only sort of quote unquote tag team in this tournament, but I felt like it needed to. I felt like I needed to put them in, otherwise it would have meant bringing in more people from outside the company. I didn't want to do that too often. So first two round one matches, done. We're now going to have an angle. It's going to be a little bit of a follow-up to something that happened last week. So I'll have to book it as two partners hanging out, but it isn't really. So it's Drew Gulak and it's Keith Lee. And what would happen here is Drew Gulak apologising to Keith Lee for not shaking his hand. So they had a round one match last week. Keith Lee won. Drew Gulak refused a handshake, and he'll come over here and say, "Look, sorry, I was just disappointed that I lost. I really want to win this tournament. I want to step. I want to have to be part of the group. I love being part of the group. I want to be my own man and have some success. But I wish you all the best. No hard feelings. Blah blah blah." And Keith Lee, because he's a nice guy, listens to him and says, "Yep, that's fine, buddy. No problem." Anyway. On to the next match. So Mark Davis back from, I can't remember if it was injured or suspended. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was suspended. I can't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter. What does matter is that he's back, and to mark that occasion, we'll stick him in a match against the Sky Riders. And in fact, we'll give him the... No, we won't. We won't give him the pin. Kyle Fletcher can pin Trey Miguel. And we'll make it clean, even though they're heels. No real purpose to that. Just filling up a segment. Next round one match. So the penultimate round one match is going to be between Go Shiozaki and Timothy Thatcher. So the other half of Go Time. And despite the fact Kushida didn't get through, Go Shiozaki is going through. I feel like all the babyfaces are winning these matches. So every single round two match is just going to be babyface versus babyface. But we will try and mix it up a little bit. So again, look to a future match, build up to the next round. And then another tag team match. Play a lot of matches tonight. More matches than I normally have. And this is why I didn't suspend Katrina. So it's going to be Mickie James teaming with Deonna Purrazzo to take on the returning Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. So the Sky Pirates, I think they're called, yep. And don't know why I booked a finish and I don't know why I booked it, but we'll stick with it. So Mickie James, actually I don't know why I booked it. So Mickie is going to win. So Mickie is going to beat, it doesn't really matter. We'll say Deonna beats Kairi, why not? So Deonna beats Kairi by disqualification. Because Katarina runs in. In fact, yeah, because Katarina runs in, yeah. And then 3-on-2 for Mickie and Deonna. Yep, so Katrina just joins in the beatdown. And that's to build to a future match. So this match, like on Star Wars, it's a trap. Because what would happen here? So I'll book the next segment. Then it's kind of all one long segment. This, but angle, one-on-one angles. Backstage assault. Assault needs paramedics. So Asuka is going to beat up Paige, and this is going to write Paige off television for a little bit. So what would happen here, obviously? So the tag team match beforehand, that's to eliminate Nikki and Diana. So they get beaten down 3-on-2. So that's why Katrina runs in. She's not bothered about if they win the match or not. They just want to incapacitate Nikki and Diana. And then as the beatdown's happening, let's assume we've got a screen. On the screen, Paige would appear. She'd be making her way to the ring to come out and save Diana and Nikki, but then Asuka would blindside her, spit mist into her face, spit poison mist into her eyes, and then do something that means that they need the paramedics. I don't know, like gets her against the wall and then leaves her against the wall, then pushes a speaker case into the wall, into her or something. I don't know, something that would mean that the paramedics need to come. Something to do with the neck, actually. No, something to do with the neck, like drop a garage door on her neck or something like that. I don't know. Maybe nothing quite that extreme, but yeah. So that's then going to write Paige off. I'm going to go from that to something completely different. Now for something completely different. What was that off? Let me know. Leave a comment. Pulley long before I was born, and I'm old now. So anyway, move on. Right, so we're going to do an interview with Mick Foley. And this is going to be a total babyface interview. So he's going to do a cheap pop right here in Los Angeles, California. Put his thumb up. Because I'm slowly trying to turn him babyface. But I won't actually do it to turn him. It's just to hype the upcoming match. So Congo Kong versus Mick Foley. So Mick Foley fighting for his job. So he was kicked out. He was blamed last week by the Glory Days for losing. So that was hopefully to get him some sympathy. And again, he's coming up against the heel champion that nobody likes. So he'll cut a babyface promo. So as I said, we're trying to turn him babyface. 3 segments to go and 2 matches within that. How many matches have we got tonight? Quite a lot. Anyway, this is going to be a significant match. So it's going to be the final first round match. So it's going to be Mark Haskins, who hasn't been seen on TV for I don't know how long. And he's going to take on a debuting, or returning, depending on how you look at it. I've made a new signing. You may have seen him when I looked at Katrina earlier. Cedric Alexander. So I've signed Cedric Alexander. He's the final member of the tournament. So I mentioned this before, but on the graphics on the screen, certain matches would have had question marks. This is one of them. So the fans wouldn't have known it was Cedric Alexander. And of course he's going to win cleanly and move on to the next one. Another babyface victory. We'll put the purpose to debut in. Now, interestingly enough, I didn't actually realise this when I planned this, but I did a little bit of research, and it turns out Cedric Alexander actually faced Mark Haskins in the Battle of Los Angeles in real life in 2017. So hopefully, some fans would, again, if this were real, some fans would remember that. Obviously, the commentators could mention it. But yeah, so that was a nice little callback there. So Mark Haskins, as he's walking down to the ring for that match, could cut a little promo saying, "Hey, you may have forgotten what I look like." But I mean, not the. I mean, I don't know why it was AEW a few years ago, and I don't know why, but every other week, and it kind of lost its impact when like the 10th person did it. But every other week, somebody cut a promo. If I could speak. Good job I don't cut a promo. Somebody will cut a promo saying like, "Oh, I haven't been on TV for 3 months and I don't get enough TV time and blah blah blah. The roster's too big." And it was just, like, I think it was the first person I can remember doing it was Ethan Page. And then it felt like every other week someone else did it. I'm sure Scorpio Sky did it. I'm sure Wardlow did it. Kip Sabian probably did it. Thunder Rosa I think did it. I mean, there was some that didn't do it. There was some that did it on. When I say didn't do it, there was some that did it on Twitter, something like that, or X, whatever it's called. I'm sure Miro probably did it. Andrade, I don't know. Anyway, he doesn't do that, so he'll say that, and then Cedric will come out and interrupt his promo and kick his butt, and that'll be a short match, that one. Right, main event. So it's Mick Foley trying to keep his job against the champion Congo Kong. So again, this would have to be booked. If this were real, I'd book this quite specifically. But this is what would happen in this match. So Foley is going to win. He's going to keep his job. But he's going to win by DQ. And then... I can't do the beatdown. I would say Congo Kong does a beatdown. Would be the aftermath, but I can't do it. So no aftermath. And it's to build to a future match. So what would happen in this match? So Kong had basically dominated most of the match. And then Foley did that great thing that he does when, like, he starts no-sell. Like, he's down on his knees and Kong would be, like, you know, hitting him or, you know, paintbrushing him with his... just paintbrush the microphone. Paintbrushing him with his boot or something. And Foley would be, like, shaking his head and start hitting himself. Saying, oh, come on, is that all you've got? You know, and start firing up. And hopefully, again, that'll get the crowd behind him. And then eventually Kong... He'd keep kicking out. And eventually Kong would get sick of it. And if they could film... we could film it so it's off camera. So Foley would start a comeback. He did that cool clothesline out. He did that cool clothesline that he does when he. Why can't I speak? He did that cool clothesline that he does. I still can't talk. That he did in the Royal Rumble to Randy Orton when he like eliminated himself and Orton. So he'd do that to Kong. They both go out the ring. And then Foley would get up. The camera would be focusing on Foley, and then you just see a chair come into camera shot and obviously hit Foley. Possibly not over the head, but they, you know, it'd be off camera. You'd see the chair swinging, come into shot, and then that'd be the DQ. But that's basically earned Foley his job inadvertently. So that's how that match would go. Anyway, let's hopefully they're as good as they are in my mind as they are in here. But it's going to be one of those where it's not, because if you can see there, we've got overall quality 78, crowd reaction 68, but the overall is 65. I don't know why it does that. It's a bit frustrating. Because most of the time it's halfway between, so that in theory should be around 71, 72% quality, but for some reason it doesn't do that. 73, I don't know. Anyway, whatever it is. So this isn't going to be as good as it should be, which is a shame. But hey ho, let's see what sort of ratings we can get. Oh, that was a good match. They have a good team, the Sky Riders. And that was a good match. And some overness as well. Always good. Yep, good match. Yep, I was hoping that might get some overness, but it doesn't matter. Yep, excellent. Wow, wasn't expecting that to be so good. I might have to... I've got a bit of a plan for this. I might have to change after that, because that is... like 91%. I think that's the best match I've ever had. The only other match I can think of that may have got over 90% quality, I'm sure it was Pac versus Will Ospreay. I'll have to go back and check. Or I'll have to go back and lumbar check. Anyway, move on. Yep, keep that hype train going. Yep, that wasn't great, but it was never going to be. I was hoping for a better crowd reaction, but that was heel versus heel. That's why it was so poor. Yep, so not a great show, but that's not really my fault. Honestly. Right. Cool, okay. So that's the first of the two shows that we're going to do in this video booked. Got 3.03. Is that a good rating? Well, it's the best one we've... Not quite. It's still a good rating. Okay. Now, something else might happen in this video at some point. I do as well, Leo, but you're going to stay where you are, unfortunately. Okay, we'll bear that in mind. Yep, thank you. Oh, something else significant might happen in this video. I'm hoping if it does, it happens after the next show, because it may take me a little bit of time to sort things out. Don't know why I keep getting these ratings emails. I could turn them off, but for some reason I don't. I don't really know why. I don't really care about how many people watched Fusion, believe it or not. Right. Oh, this is interesting. A few things I wasn't expecting there. So, Chikara are the same level as me now. They're Cult. AAA Sunday's been dropped by Univision. That's interesting. So, AAA have lost a TV show. Guerrero Style Ring's been renewed. That's fine. House of Hardcore dropped to Cult. AW Thunderkiss 65. I don't know what... not sure what name that's come from, but... okay, some interesting stuff there. Keep ploughing on. Okay, so now Chikara have got bigger. They will sign people. In fact, 13. That's quite a lot. Let's see what's cooking. So Aaron Stevens gone to House of Hardcore. So that is Damien Sando, I believe. Trish Stratus gone to House of Hardcore. Random. Tetsuya Naito to House of Hardcore. Walters left Chikara. That's despite the fact they've just become Cult. Masato Tanaka, yeah. Chris Adonis, Chris Masters, better known as Nick Jackson. Scott Steiner. Tom Latimer or Bram. I was going to sign him actually. Well, I think they do it now. Dash Wilder's gone to Chikara. Razor's gone to Chikara. Ryback's gone to Chikara, because of course he has. Beth Phoenix. House of Hardcore fired Dean Hill, Shane Sewell, Brooke Dang. I don't know who these people are. I think Chris Brannon might be a writer, possibly medical. Dave Lagana, he's a writer. Tony DeVito. No relation to Big. That was Big Vito, wasn't it? Move on. Doc Marley, who's an announcer, I believe. Brian Hebner, the referee, of course. Don't know who that is. Don't know who that is. And Sugar Shane Helms. I think he will be a road agent at this point. So, interesting stuff. Interesting, very interesting. Trish Stratus to House of Hardcore. That could be fun. So, Honma to WWN. More stuff I don't care about. We'll delete these emails after the video's finished. So, very interesting occurrences. Right. As we're now up to our next show. Only 20 minutes in. We're already at the next show. Togi Maccabee. Albert Hardy Jr. Is that ACH? I think it might be. Ray Horus to a written contract. Escaria. Interesting. Ring of Honor expanding as well. Ring of Horus, they could be called now. Maybe not. Ray Horus and Escaria. Let's just have a quick look at those before we before I cough, before we book the next show. Yep, pretty good starts. Yeah, that's who I thought it was. Who was the other one? Escaria, wasn't it? I'm guessing they potentially were working for AAA or CMLL on open contracts, so I'm expecting those to maybe hire somebody. Right, speaking of contracts, I need to get rid of somebody. So Paige. So we wrote Paige off in the last. Show, so I am going to release her. I want to keep her about because I'm worried someone's going to sign her. Because I don't know why, but in real life I can't stand her, and I really don't know why. I don't know what it is. Don't get me wrong. If I met the woman, I'd be perfectly civil to her, and I'm sure she's probably quite a nice person. But I don't know. I just can't stand her. So despite the fact she's happy with her current contract, she'll accept a release. So that's Paige now gone. But yeah, to be fair, even though I don't particularly like her, and again, I can't really rationalise that, I'm not sure why. I have to say, everything she's done since I signed her, even though she's only been here, it feels like 2 months, if that, has been fantastic, to be honest with you. The match with Asuka was great, the angles have been great. Yeah, so she's gone now. Bit of a spoiler, I do want to bring her back in the future, so... But she's gone now, so that writing her off TV, because she's a main eventer, I can't just keep her sat on the roster not doing anything like Mark Haskins, for example, who's still morale 100 despite the fact he hasn't been used for I don't know how long. But yeah, despite that, look at Cedric, 81 over. That was because of that match quality in the last show. I mean, he was 71 over when I signed him, so... Interesting. Anyway, but yeah, I can't just have her sat there doing nothing because her morale will drop. But yeah, maybe looking to bring her back at some point. But we'll worry about that in the future. But yeah, she's been really good. She's been great for me. So thank you, Paige. Clap, 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 clap. But for now, it's Sayonara Saraya as we move on to the next show, as I've already said. I may keep going after this show, depending on what happens, because I'm hoping something significant is going to happen before we get to the show after this one, before the next video. Right. Anywho, let's solidify the Mick Foley face turn. That's despite the fact that not that long ago he was trying to make the company bankrupt, or trying to take over, help Bob Backlund take over. He's now babyface. So we've been planting the seeds for the last few weeks. It's now going to happen here. Not a one-on-one angle. It's a turn angle. singles face turn via call out. So Mick Foley turns by answering the challenge of Congo Kong. So what would happen in this segment is Congo Kong would come out, he'd brag about how much he beat the hardcore legend Mick Foley up. And then he'd say he doesn't have a match for Battle of Los Angeles because everyone's in the tournament. It's a waste of time anyway because whoever wins the tournament is going to lose to him, of course. He'll say all that, and then Mick Foley will come out and say, you know, you may have beaten me, but you didn't pin me. I won that match. So if you want a challenger for Battle of Los Angeles, you want to put your belt on the line. Why don't you put it on the line against me? And then Kong would reply by saying, well, yeah, I'll do that, but I don't want another singles match with you because I've just had one. I want a no disqualification match. So when I do hit you with a chair, it's legal, and Foley agrees to it. So that's going to set up a no disqualification, no holds barred, whatever you want to call it, title match for Battle of Los Angeles. Speaking of Battle of Los Angeles, the first second round match is about to take place. So it's Bask in his glory taking on his eternal enemy, Dominik Dijakovic. And this match is going to end a draw. So it's going to end a draw because of a double count out. So because they hate each other so much, they'll just basically brawl on the outside and not get back into the ring. So we'll book continue brawling as the aftermath. Brawl to the back. And that's to... It's actually to build up to a future match. So then afterwards, Excalibur would stand up at the announce desk and he would say that they're going to have a rematch next week. We can't have no winner. So he books a rematch for next week. So next week will be the go-home show for the Battle of Los Angeles pay-per-view. So there is still time to... there's still time for them to have another match, so that's how that gets resolved. Right, and then we're going to have an angle, and it's going to be... And at this point, this guy would still be a mystery, but unfortunately I can't book it that way. So it's a limo arrival for Enzo Amore. So what would happen in this segment, again, if this were real, a limo would pull up, Super Dragon would get out, and then he'd go and open the door of the... he'd go around to the side, he'd open the door of the other passenger door, and he'd say, oh no, you're finally here, you're straight through to the second... So he'd basically make it obvious that this is the big megastar that would only agree to be in the tournament if he got a bye to the second round. And you'd maybe just see... Maybe plant a seed, you'd maybe just see a trainer. Did he used to wear... Other brands are available, but I think he used to wear Nike trainers or Jordan ones. Anyway, you'd see maybe a little clue that it's Enzo Amore, but I don't think anyone would expect it to be. But yeah, that's what would happen in that segment. Bit reluctant to book this next angle, but I'm going to do it because I've got a feeling this may cost some overness. So one-on-one angle. I can't believe that 91% match quality of Mark Haskins and Cedric Alexander. I may need to incorporate that into something because that was. Sometimes people do get over with one great match can put somebody over. So I may have to. In fact, I say sometimes, quite often to be fair, but I may have to have a think about that one. Anyway, that's for then. This is now, so it's going to be held apart from Brawl. So it's going to be Brian Cage and Cedric Alexander. So that's going to build up to their second round match next week. They both got through. So Cage is a lot bigger than Alexander, but Alexander being a babyface, he'd show no fear. He'd stand up to him. Then a bit of a random match coming up next. It's going to be Crime Time. And Jesse Brooks teaming up against NGD. Ooh, I've just forgotten who the member was then. Yeah, Samson. And their random partner is going to be Hania. So it's going to be a mixed 6-person tag. Now, Hania's not been booked for I don't know how long. But we're going to dust her off here. That's Hania, not Hanan, for the Stardom fans amongst you, for the talking about that earlier. And they are going to win. So Hania is going to pin Jessie Brooks. So we'll do it that way. And they can cheat, why not? So that welcomes Hania back onto television after a while. Okay, now this next segment would be quite significant, and once again, I can't book what I'm about to describe, but this is what would happen. So it's going to be manager angle. Manager asks work to give client match accepted. So Katrina, this is why again why I didn't send her to rehab. She wanted to go to rehab. I said no, no, no. I said no, no, no. Just ruined the joke. Anyway, move on. So she's going to ask Io Shirai. Sorry, she's going to ask Mickie James to give Io Shirai a match. That's what I should have booked. So what would happen in this segment is the Stunning Sucker Band would come to the ring. Katrina would get the microphone. You'd see the three of them stood behind her. And she'd say, hey, you know, I think it's about time that, you know, we got rewarded for our good work. There's one person in particular in this group that's done some excellent stuff these last few weeks. Obviously, she's supposed to be talking about Asuka injuring Paige and beating Paige in at the City of Devils. And I want that person to be rewarded with a title match. So Mickie James, come onto the stage. I want you to put your belt on the line against my prize client. And obviously, everyone thinks it's Asuka, but then she says it's Io Shirai. And then you see in the background, obviously Katrina's got her back to the Stunning Sucker Man. So you see in the background, Asuka pulls a bit of a... She's not happy with this, basically. So she pulls her face, and you can tell she's annoyed. But Kairi is happy for Io Shirai. So Kairi, like, is nodding her head and smiling and gives Io a bit of a hug. And Mickie agrees to put a belt on the line, but doesn't mention... No one mentions the Asuka annoyance, but it's shot in a way that everyone can see it's going on. Maybe the commentator allude to it, but that's how that segment would go. But that sets up Io versus Mickie, which I feel like I've booked a million times, but we'll do it one more time. Do. And then, of course, next up, we've got the Keep This Running theme going. Hope she's good, Barbie Hayden, because she's getting a big build-up here. So I hope she lives up to the hype. Next up, we've got the Glory Days members trying to keep their job. And this time, it's the Powers of Pain. So the Barbarian and the Warlord. And they're going to take on a team that's even older than they are. And that's the Rock and Roll Express. And believe it or not, they are actually... I'm a bit reluctant to do this, but screw it. They are actually going to win. So they will keep their jobs. Always useful to have a tag team, a fairly big tag team division. So we'll keep the Powers of Pain. I mean, they were employed before the Glory Days storyline started. They were kind of the genesis of it. So I will keep hold of them for now. So the Warlord can win. Not cleanly though. We'll just say they cheat. I don't know. They can. And the Warlord used to come out with that metal stick, didn't he? So he can hit them with that or something. I don't know. But they keep their jobs. Kind of screwily, but they do it. The Powers of Pain are still employed. Speaking of employed. So we're going to have another angle. A lot less matches in this week. Oh yeah, I forgot to check how many matches I had last week. Let's have a quick look now, actually. Because I will forget, again, if I don't do it now. 7 matches. So out of 11 segments, 7 were matches. That is unusual for me. Back to the usual 4, though, in this week. Can't give too much wrestling away for free. On free TV. Right, so Authority announces new signing. Where is it? Here it is. And Excalibur is going to announce Octagon has signed permanently. So when Octagon was booked a couple of weeks ago against Bandido, it was sold as, you know, a legend for Mexico just coming in for a match, but actually, because he performed really well, despite the fact he's 58, we've decided to sign him. So that's essentially what would happen here. I mean, he wouldn't mention his age, but he'd say, you know, he was so good that we offered him a contract and he signed it. So Octagon's now permanently on the roster. So that's just telling the fans that to expect to see him more than just that one-off signing. And now the main event, because of course Enzo Amore, or Real One, will only wrestle if he's in the main event. So it's Bandido versus Real One for a place in the semi-finals of the Battle of Los Angeles. So the other second round match ended in a draw between Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic. The winner of that match, the winner of the rematch, will face the winner of this match at the pay-per-view. Because we're going to have the semi-finals and the final all in one night on the pay-per-view. And of course, Real One wins. But he wins by cheating. So that's 2 cheat finishes in a row, but keep quiet, no one's counting. In fact, aftermath, Bandido, yeah, Real One runs away. We'll make him look like a coward. And that's to build up to a future match, of course, which is the semi-final. Right. So, here we go. 36 minutes in. And we're ready to book the second show of the video. And then we can say sayonara, potentially. Oh, let's see what happens after this show. Hopefully it's good. Good. That was a good segment. Hoping it was going to be a little bit better, but hey-ho. Good start. See, that's more like it. 66%, 57 quality, 57 crowd reaction, sorry, 76 quality, 66, that's what I'd expect. That's what should have happened in the last show that we booked, but hey ho, it didn't. That was a bit rubbish. That wasn't. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. After all that overness he got in the last show, I knew that was going to happen. Because he's not very charismatic, that's the problem. Yeah, that match sucked, but hey ho, good job we weren't getting ratings like we did last week for the matches. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's fine. I was hoping she'd gain some overness from this, but obviously not. Oh, good, they got some overness at least. 72% match quality for 4 wrestlers, the combined age of over 240, I think. I'll check. I'll check after. What's the combined age? How old was that match? Yeah. That's fine. And that, of course, wasn't very good. Okay, so 67%, despite the fact it wasn't great. Now, how old was that match? Let's have a look. So, Ricky. So, 62-year-old Ricky Morton teamed with 61-year-old Robert Gibson. So, that's 123 years old. And they took on 57-year-old Warlord, so that is 180. And he teamed with 59-year-old so 239 years old that match, and it was the best match on the card. In terms of match quality, I think in terms of match quality, or was it better than Keith Lee's? I don't know, but anyway, it was better than that match, and it was better than the main event. And they're 239 years old between them. So, there we go. Who saw that coming? Right. Okay. So Matt Riddle's gone to Impact. That wasn't the news I was expecting. Okay, interesting. Hiroshi Tanahashi's gone to AAA rather than Impact. Fair enough. We got a 2.93 for Warfare. I don't. You already have. Okay, right. I am going to continue time a little bit. I'm going to get to the next show, potentially, and then we'll say sayonara. I'm going to carry on because I'm hoping something fairly significant is going to happen, and I want it to happen before I record the next video because it's going to take a little bit of time to... there's going to be a little bit of things I'll probably need to do. So we can delete all this rubbish. Oh, dear me. There we go. We've risen to national level. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to see. I was hoping that was, like I said, I was hoping that was going to happen before the next episode of Warfare, because there will be some stuff I'll need to do. I forgot about that. I forgot about Odinson. I have to deal with that one. So you can see here we've got... yeah, we need to increase production values. Our contracts, I mean, that's irrelevant. We can get staff of 90 now. We need to open a training camp. So one thing, you know, one thing and another that we maybe need to look at. You know, we need to increase ticket prices. So some of the stuff that is not that interesting, I'll do before the next video. So all the ticket price stuff, I'll check if we can get some better sponsors, one thing and another. See if we can sort the production out. I'll have a look for some extra staff. I may not hire them, but I'll have a look for better staff and then maybe hire them next time. I'll just say, this is who I've hired. Anything else? Ooh, some more interesting things actually there. So MLW have also risen to national level. So let's see what's happened. Let's delete some of this. Let's see what's happened before we say goodbye. War games. War games. Despite the fact I'm English, I can't do a Regal accent. And lots of Americans can. I was trying to get away with that. War games. What they call it? I thought MLW's version of War games was called Battle Riot or Battle Chamber or something. I don't know. It's got its own name anyway. War Chamber or something like that. I can't remember. Not War Games anyway. Sorry, Regal. Scott Summers has gone to APW because of course he has. MLW. So Bram, he's gone from being unemployed to employed and then employed on a written contract. So that's interesting. Razar's gone to MLW. MLW signed Aaron Maguire. I don't know who that is. They've signed Ryan Tran. I'm not sure who that is. I probably should know. They've signed Bill Banks. They've signed Thomas Sisk. They've signed Ed Koski, who again I should know. And they've signed Jim Smallman. AEW have fallen to cult. So we're now bigger. We're now bigger than AEW. In fact, the fourth biggest promotion in North America. So that's interesting. So there's only WWE, New Japan, and Ring of Honor that's bigger than us. So that's fun. So we're bigger than AEW, which is interesting. So now, if I try and sign somebody that's on an open... I mean, there probably isn't many. But if I try and sign someone that's on an open contract for AEW, with AEW, like Chuck Taylor, for example. I mean, I'm not going to, but let's just use him as an example. Then I won't get that message where they say, oh, I already work for bigger promotions than you. So signing with you would be a bad idea. Well, that's interesting. Well, that's a great way. I think that's a great note to end this video on. I'm PWG now bigger than AEW. So that's a great way to end this video. So if you enjoyed this video, then please like and share the video. You can also leave a comment on the video should you choose to do that. While you're here on YouTube, if you head on over to the channel, The Commentator, you'll find the rest of the videos in this playlist, apart from one which I've had to get rid of. But yeah, you'll find the rest of the videos in this playlist. If you want to know how I've got to this point and you've missed anything, any of the stories or whatever, then please go and check that out. If you like wrestling, then I've done a playthrough of WWE Crush Hour. That's also on the channel, so please go and watch that. If you don't like wrestling, then I don't know why you're watching this video. But if you don't, there are plenty of other genres of game on the channel from various consoles throughout the years. Sega Mega Drive, N64, there's plenty of Pokemon, Kirby, Star Fox, Starwing, whatever you want to call it. There's FIFA Street, Sonic the Hedgehog, lots of different things on the channel for you to enjoy. But join me next time. We're going to be moving on to the next two shows. It's going to be the Go Home show for the Battle of Los Angeles and then the pay-per-view itself. So lots to look forward to. I'll also try and sort out the admin work that needs to be done now we've moved up to National. But yeah, all that to look forward to. So quite a significant, important video this one was, and next one's going to be as well, because of course, as I've just said, we're going to be doing the Battle of Los Angeles tournament, so we'll see who comes out the winner of that. But until we get to that point, for now from me, it is sayonara.